Hello, I am Komal. Every day, narratives emerge online. They spread, evolve, and influence real world perceptions. But understanding how these narratives form and propagate across communities is difficult. This is Signal, a narrative intelligence platform for investigating how information spread across Reddit and Twitter communities. Every single design decision in Signal follows one principle. Each view should contribute evidence to the same investigation thread. Let me show you what that means end to end. We start in the Explore workspace, the entry point of every investigation. This visualization is a UMAP projection of 8,000 plus Reddit posts. Each point all the nodes are created by clustering the similar posts into one cluster. Now, the cluster slider controls analytical granularity. When I reduce it to 4 clusters, the system dynamically refetches results and simplifies the narrative space. This is important because cluster resolution is not fixed. It's analytical choice. Now, as we can see that position reflects semantic similarity. So the federal workers and electrical politics are appears close to each other as it is not visual design. It's the embedding space indicating shared language and context. Now, when we see the topic scoping, this includes post, timeline, stance, and signal. Now, let's see what all. When I click to posts, I can see all the posts related to that particular narrative. Then, when I see timeline, it shows the timeline. When I see stance, it shows me how opinions changes over time. This graph indicates how the number of posts changes their narratives time to time. Like at this point, at this particular date, there were 33% neutral posts and 66% conservative posts. So likewise this changes. Now back here we have an embedding geometry where we see individual posts plotted in embedding space. Dense region represents core narrative content while outliers indicate edge cases or emerging variations. Now let's go to timeline. The timeline measures narrative velocity computed as the semantic shift between consecutive time windows. A spike indicates that the language around a topic has significantly changed. What makes this powerful is event grounding signal overlays real world events from Wikipedia directly onto the timeline. This allows us directly correlate online narrative shifts with real world triggers. Below the chart, a model AI generated summary explains the trend in simpler terms. Also, we can see the detailed summary which generates more detailed view of the timeline. Now moving forward to view spread. Here we can see all the nodes posts that have been associated with that particular narrative. We will see this in detail. So the graph view represents narrative spread as a network. Nodes represents accounts or posts. and edges represents relationships. Node size is based on page rank, highlighting influential amplifiers, while color represents communities. This allows us to identify key amplifiers, community clusters, and potential coordination patterns. Page rank was chosen deliberately to prioritize influence over connectivity. Here we can see all posts, network, and page rank. We can also investigate each post in Signal, that will come later. Here we have trends page, which shows how narratives are growing, which are declining based on post frequency over time and rate of change. Then we have origins, which shows who adapted it first. And that's it for this page. Now we'll move on to narrative life cycle. So the signal models narratives across 4 life cycle stages: emergence, growth, peak, and saturation. Each phase is analyzed for sentiment and toxicity. For example, if we select the Ukraine Russia topic, we can see that the narrative shows consistently mixed sentiment across all the phases, meaning it never stabilized into a single dominant viewpoint. The rage amplification matrix quantifies whether toxic content receives more engagement. This transforms qualitative observation into measurable signals. This is also important to see how the spread of toxic language is being done. So, when we move in further, we can see the detailed page of narrative life cycle where we have acceleration, amplification, which accounts are more influence to that particular post, and mutation, how the language changes in the particular time period. Moving forward to live feed inject. So this is one of the most powerful feature, and that is live feed injector. Signal fetches real-time Reddit posts, embeds them, and classifies them into existing clusters. Like if I search any trending topic, Iran war, it will fetch and classify them to that particular cluster. See, it also gives one line explanation of that particular post and why it belongs to that cluster. Now let's move on to narrative fingerprint. So each narrative is represented by a semantic fingerprint, a structured representation of its language and meaning. This allows comparison across clusters to detect whether different narratives are actually variations of the same underlying idea. This also helps us in determining how much spread will that particular topic or trend will have. Now we have Post Explorer. The Post Explorer enables detailed inspection of individual posts. Here we can search keywords and it will show all the posts related to that particular keyword. The search uses semantic expansion, meaning results are retrieved based on meaning, not just the keyword. We can also search by topics, authors, and subreddits. Each posts include math score, explanation of why it was retrieved, amplification signal. This ensures full transparency. Now, the ask signal. It is designed as an investigator chatbot. It is not just a generic chatbot, it uses RAG to produce evidence grounded insights, risk alerts, follow up investigation questions. Every claim includes a clickable post ID citation, like clicking them actually takes us to that source. Then we can also add follow up questions. Now, the monitor agent. The monitor agent enables continuous tracking of narratives. It periodically fetches new posts, compares them against previous results, and surfaces only changes or deltas. This allows us to stay updated without rerunning searches manually. So, Signal transforms fragmented social media data into a structured investigation workflow. It enables analysts to understand what narrative exists, how they spread, who amplifies them, how they evolve over time, and most importantly, what is happening right now. Thank you.